For this lesson, we're going to be taking notes on how to solve a system of equations using elimination, or the elimination method. Elimination means to cancel or get rid of one of the variables. So if we have a system of equations like 2x plus 3y equals 20 and negative 2x plus y equals 4, instead of graphing these or solving for a variable and substituting, they're lined up perfectly with the x's, the y's, the equal sign, and then the constant or number. And so we can just go ahead and use elimination. These are called standard form, where we have x, y, and then the constant or number after the equal sign. And so anytime you have two equations in this standard form where they're lined up, elimination is going to be the easiest way. You'll notice that the 2x and the minus 2x would cancel each other out if we added them together. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to add the two equations together so that the 2x and the minus 2x will cancel out to make 0. We have to add the rest of the equations together too, though. So 3y plus another y is 4y, and then 20 plus 4 is 24. So we end up with 0 plus 4y equals 24. And if you want to, you can just ignore that 0 and just think of it as 4y equals 24. Now that we've done that, our next step is to go ahead and solve this to find out what y equals. So we're going to divide by 4 on both sides and get y equals 6. Now we're only halfway done solving this system because we have to find out the value for x as well. So we're going to go back to our substitution method. Now that we know that y equals 6, we're going to take one of the original equations and we're going to substitute 6 for y. So instead of 2x plus 3y equals 20, it would be 2x plus 3 times 6 equals 20. We just take out the y and plug 6 in its place. The final step to finishing out solving this system is to just go ahead and solve this new equation. We would distribute the 3 times 6 is 18, subtract 18 on both sides, divide by 2 on both sides, and get that x equals 1. These are the same steps that we used previously when we were just solving an equation. Now that we know that x equals 1 and y equals 6, we have our solution and we're finished with this problem. Go ahead and pause this video and make sure you've got all of the steps copied into your notebook. Next example, we're going to have 2x minus 5y equals 11 and 3x plus 2y equals 7 as our system of equations. Remember, we'll always have two equations in our system. The problem with this one is that before we had 2x and negative 2x and they would cancel. This time they don't match. We have 2x and 3x. And so we're going to have to do something to make it so that when we add these equations together, we can cancel or eliminate that value. So instead of 2x and 3x, we're going to multiply them by each other so we can get 6x on both. So if there's no matching variables, we can multiply them by each other. So we're going to multiply the top by 3 and the bottom by 2, only we want to make one of them negative because a negative and a positive together will cancel. So we'll time the top by 3 and the bottom by negative 2 so that when we distribute those and multiply, we'll have this all set up to go ahead and add the equations together. On the top, we do 3 times 2x, 3 times negative 5y, and 3 times 11 to get 6x minus 15y equals 33. So each part of the equation had to be multiplied by 3. On the bottom, we're timesing by negative 2, so we're going to distribute that to each part. Negative 2 times 3x, negative 2 times 2y, and negative 2 times 7. So we get negative 6x, negative 4y, and negative 14. Now we look at our equations, our new equations, and we've got 6x and minus 6x. They're perfectly matched so that if we add them together, the 6x and the minus 6x will cancel out to 0, which was our goal. So we add those together. We have to also add the y part and the constant or number part. So negative 15y plus negative 4y is negative 19y, and 33 plus negative 14 is 19. And of course, 6x plus negative 6x was 0. The rest of the steps, we go ahead and do the same as the previous example. We're going to solve this equation by dividing by 19 on both sides. Dividing by negative 19 on both sides. And we get that y equals negative 1. Now that we know the value for y, we can take one of the original equations and we can substitute it in. So we're going to take that equation that we have up at the top, 2x minus 5y equals 11, but instead of a y, we're going to put negative 1. So we get 2x minus 5 times negative 1 equals 11. Now we can solve this. We distribute negative 5 times negative 1, and then we're going to subtract 5 on both sides, divide by 2 on both sides, and we end up with x equals 3. Since we know the value of x and y, we're completely done with this problem. So x equals 3 and y equals negative 1 is the solution to this system of equations. Go ahead and pause the video so that you can copy all of the work and all of the steps into your notebook for your notes.